Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another review. This is going to be for episode 4 of Gotham, season 1, Arkham. So, yeah, for those who have yet to actually watch this episode and haven't already, stop the video, go check it out, and then come back here and watch the rest of this review so I don't spoil anything. 10-second spoiler warning as usual, starting now. Okay, so 10 seconds are up. So for those who have yet to actually watch this episode, and haven't already and are still watching this review, don't complain down in the comments below or be messaging me that I never gave you a fair warning, because as usual, I did. So yeah, as usual, quick synopsis, likes and dislikes, and then the rate. So yeah, let's get started. So a synopsis for this episode will basically be that you have the city at war, basically. You have Maroni and Falcone battling for territory within the Arkham area. Um, you have this one guy who's killing different counselors, political counselors, apparently to, I guess, manifest the war, to fuel the war. Basically, he wants basically war, and anarchy. So he's basically killing off these counselors from both sides, in hopes that the war will get started. So it's hinted that the war may also get started depending on how Arkham is decided to be split and what happens to the Arkham area as a whole. You have Bruce trying to figure out if the people dying in this episode have some kind of correlation with the murder of his parents' death, and then you also have Penguin trying to go up the ranks in Maroni's inner circle, because he's already in the inner circle. He's just trying to get more ahead. Being very slick, being very lucrative and not decisive, but deceptive is the word I'm looking for. Being very slick, deceptive, lucrative. So, yeah. Um, this episode was very interesting, if you ask me. Now, one thing I do wish they would have done in this episode is maybe shows a bit more of Arkham, or maybe shows Arkham Asylum, because that's really the main thing I was expecting from this episode, to show us Arkham Asylum, but they didn't show us Arkham Asylum at all. They showed us parts of Arkham Asylum, like the entrance, but they really didn't show us anything. So I'm kind of disappointed in that aspect, that they didn't show us more of Arkham Asylum, which is the main thing I think we all associate Arkham with. So that kind of sucks, but what you're gonna do about it. Um, so yeah. Also, here's like the first episode where you don't see Cat Girl, I guess you could say. Selena Kyle, Cat Girl. This is the first episode in which you don't see her, so it's kind of weird. But I guess it makes sense. Have her in some of the episodes, and in other episodes you don't have her, so it does make sense. Overall it's a pretty interesting episode. The character development is minimal, I do have to say. Aside from Penguin, because Penguin got a lot of character development, but aside from him, not the other characters didn't really get much character development at all. So that was kind of weird, but I guess not every single episode has to have great the best or the most character development from from each character. But overall, it was pretty interesting episode. Um, it did have something left to be desired, in my opinion. But yeah, it just did have something left to be desired. Maybe a good action scene, because really there's like no action scenes. And I think that's a big part of this show, the action. And there's not really any action scenes, which I guess is the one thing left to be desired. I mean, there's this one scene kind of towards the middle where they were shooting at this one guy. But besides that, that's really the closest thing you have to action. Actually, no, we also had this robbery, the robbery at the restaurant, in which Penguin now works for. So that was pretty interesting, but it was some decent action. But I do wish we could have had more action in the episode. Overall, it was a good episode, but it did have a lot to be desired. I mean, really, the best things to take out of this episode was there was a lot of character development from Penguin, but besides that, nobody else really had any development. It was kind of interesting though to see Bruce, trying to solve the murder of his parents and seeing if they have any correlations with the murders going going on at present time of the show. So that was pretty interesting. I mean, the writing as usual was good. The acting was good for the most part. Um, but but just after besides that, just really the usual. After that, good writing, good acting. Gets kind of redundant after a while for me to say that, but kind of does need to be said. I guess you'd have to argue that still has the good acting and writing and whatnot. So yeah, I mean that's really it. I mean the one thing I do have to say though is that there's this one conversation though between what's her name, Barbara and and Gordon, whatever, James Gordon. There's this one conversation that was just really weird. Because apparently she confessed to Gordon that she was like a bisexual or like lesbian, and just it was really weird. I really don't know what they're gonna do with that character, but nobody really knows what they're gonna do with her because she really can't play Batwoman at this point. She's more of a like in the he's like it's just weird. So yeah, I mean overall it's a good episode, not the best episode of this series so far, but it was good overall. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, and 6 being decent, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. It really did have something left to be desired, in my opinion. So yeah, that's basically it for this review. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. I review Gotham on a weekly basis, as well as Flash, Arrow, Scorpion, Grace Point, Z Nation, Walking Dead, and once it comes out, Constantine. So definitely stay tuned for that. Besides that, comment down below on your thoughts on this episode. What are your thoughts on it? Comment all that down below. Let me know. Besides that, like this video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. That's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.